So Donald Trump holds a deranged and dangerous rally in Nevada. Let's talk about it in today's video. Hi, I'm Mike Greiner. I'm a lifelong Democratic activist who's concerned about the direction our country is taking. I'm also a lawyer and an academic, and I'm here to help you stand up to the BS of the MAGA crowd. So imagine my surprise when I was watching Newsmax and saw a video from a Donald Trump rally where he's talking about how great the crowd was on January 6th. And then he gets a candidate for Secretary of State standing up saying about how he's going to overturn the election and simply install Donald Trump as president. Let's check it out here.
I never knew the cameras, because this took place right from, they never want to show how massive our crowd was. You know the biggest crowd I've ever seen? January 6th. And you never hear that. It was the biggest, and they were there largely to protest a corrupt and rigged and stolen election.
Now, there are several problems I have with this. Number one, the January 6th rally actually wasn't that big a crowd. The estimates by the organizers were that there were going to be 30,000 people there. As it turns out, there were 10,000 people there, which is a big rally, but not terribly big for someone who's president of the United States and who is issuing a national call trying to get people to this rally. Let's keep watching.
It's the biggest crowd, and you never hear that. They said, how was the call? Did you feel intimidated? No.
So now we're going to shift gears and start talking about the call to Georgia and the other calls that he made to try to pressure election officials to overturn the election on his behalf, no matter what happened. Let's keep watching.
He had a perfect call. He thanked me. He congratulated me for getting elected. He didn't do it.
I love his language. A perfect call. Everything with him is perfect or beautiful or whatever. Let's keep watching.
Anything wrong. So I remember that. But we made perhaps an even more perfect call to the Secretary of State of Georgia, which is my right. And in fact, the call was so perfect that the many lawyers, we had like 7 or 8 lawyers on the call on both sides, and other people on the call never expressed even the slightest bit of anger or outrage at what I said. They didn't say, that's horrible. That's a horrible thing you said. We must hang up immediately because we cannot understand that. We had many.
They actually did raise issues with this call repeatedly. In fact, repeatedly, Georgia Secretary of State Brad Raffensberger pointed out that Donald Trump was basing everything he was saying on false claims. Raffensberger said, and I quote, "Well, Mr. President, the challenge you have is the data you have is wrong." I don't know how much clearer he can make that. Was that such a perfect call? And anybody who listened to this call just heard his begging and whining and please find me 11,780 votes so I can win the election. Let's keep watching.
People on the call. I assume the call was taped, and I guess there were 6.
Indeed, the call was taped. That's how we know exactly what happened. Let's keep watching.
7 or 8 lawyers on the call. There was no protest. There was no one saying, how dare you say such a thing?
Again, Brad Raffensberger repeatedly said that all the claims that the president was making were based on false information, and that, in fact, Joe Biden had won the state of Georgia. Let's keep watching.
You know why? Because it was a perfect call. It was only long after that the subject was broached.
No, actually, the subject was broached the very next day. It was reported in the Washington Post and then reported in just about every news outlet across the country. By the way, if you doubt me, I'll post links to the evidence down below. Let's keep watching.
Months later, they said, oh, he made a call. Very fortunately, it was on tape. If there were a problem, they would have, you know what, they would have gone absolutely crazy.
Well, as it turns out, actually, he's facing prosecution in Georgia as a result of that. There's a grand jury right now led by Fulton County prosecutor Fannie Willis, and she's made it clear that it's likely that some very senior officials in the Trump administration, and potentially even Donald Trump, could be facing charges as a result of their efforts to interfere in the election count. Let's keep watching.
They would have gone absolutely crazy, and they would have come after me, but the phone was hung up. And everybody was happy. In fact, they agreed to meet. Let's meet again soon. Because all we were doing was protesting a fake and dirty and rigged election. That's all.
Now, here's the scary thing, though. I mean, in a democracy, both sides need to be able to accept when they lose. Now, It doesn't mean that they have to be happy about it. Democrats obviously weren't happy that Donald Trump won the election. That didn't stop them from acknowledging the fact that under the rules that we have, even though that Hillary Clinton had won the most votes, under the rules we have, though, that govern our elections, he had won the Electoral College. And the very next day after the election, Hillary Clinton conceded the election to him, and no Democrats tried to stop him from taking office. That's quite a contrast with him still bitching about the election 2 years later. Let's keep watching.
We were doing. When will they investigate and prosecute Bill Clinton, Hillary Clinton, George Bush, and look into what took place with George Bush's father, a very nice man, and the warehouse of documents? And what about Barack Hussein Obama?
Now he's saying we just need to investigate everybody he doesn't like. Just investigate them. Clinton, Hillary, Obama, the Bushes. Just investigate them. I don't like them, so let's investigate them. It doesn't matter that they haven't done anything wrong or that there's no evidence that points to any illegal activities on their part. Trump just wants the FBI to be completely politicized and go after his political enemies. And that's the scary thing here. Let's keep watching.
Under potential prosecution? I don't think so. I don't think they are.
Is this the greatest president in American history or not? So we have something in common. President Trump and I lost an election in 2020 because of a rigged election.
Okay, let's be clear about something. One of the congressional districts in Nevada was won by a Republican. Are they going to say that that Republican should not be able to take office because it was a rigged election in Nevada? I don't think so. Let's keep watching.
I've been working since November 4th, 2020 to expose what happened. And what I found out is horrifying. And when I'm Secretary of State of Nevada, we're going to fix it. And when my coalition of Secretary of State candidates around the country get elected, we're going to fix the whole country.
You see, here's the scary thing. What he found out through his research is that Joe Biden won the election. So what they're going to fix is making sure that Republicans get put into office whether they win the election or not. This is tantamount to destroying democracy here. So any claims from the right that Democrats are the problem with democracy just need to watch this video. What's more is this candidate for Secretary of State in Nevada is in fact part of a nationwide movement of candidates who are specifically saying that if they're elected, they are not going to allow the Democrats to take office even if they win the election. This is nothing short of a fascist movement that's trying to undermine democracy. Let's keep watching.
And President Trump is going to be president again in 2024.
You see, that's what this election is about. Who is going to control the levers of our democratic process? Is it going to be controlled by people who actually believe in democracy and actually are going to let whoever wins take office, kind of like what happened in Virginia, despite claims to the contrary? Or are we going to allow these people to take office who are going to manipulate the process to make sure that Donald Trump is the president, whether he wins the election or not? It's put up or shut up time, folks. The Republicans are telling us exactly what they're going to do. And when someone tells you what they're all about, my attitude is, you should believe it. Well, if you want to see more about the prosecution in Georgia that's a result of Donald Trump's perfect call to the Secretary of State there, check out this video over here that I did a while ago. I'll see you then. In the meantime, let's hope for continued progress. Thank you.